Hey everybody. Right, a little bit of a different project here today. Kind of see a bunch of things here. So I do a lot of mountain biking, and I also like to do my part to, I ride in a lot of trails where there's hikers, and being a hiker myself, I also can see how people can get the daylight scared out of them when we, come whipping up behind them without warning. So anyway, for years I've been doing my part. I've had this electronic bell called an RB bell. I'll pop a picture up here to show you what that looked like. It's interesting because I don't think that this similar product was existed anywhere else, and I was amazed that this thing never really took off. And this is the remnants of it. It actually, too many, rides and rainstorms and whatnot got water into the piezo and fried it. So anyway, it was a great product. It basically consisted of this unit here. This is part of it here. The battery. This is the battery holder. It's actually only that big. This is just not currently put together. This mounted on the handlebars. The actual this was inside, and the piezo was here. It had a push button here, and I also had a remote push button right by my grips, so I could enable it there. Anyway, it finally bit the dust, so I said to myself, I gotta redo this. And I looked to my world of microcontrollers because that seems to be my go-to all the time. And I immediately thought, well, what's the smallest, cheapest microcontroller I can use to recreate this? And quite honestly, it's very simple. It's just you need to enable 12 volts through to the piezo, but it needs to be pulsed for it to actually have, and I'll show you sound in a few minutes. It needs to be pulsed to the piezo so you get this sort of beeping noise. It's annoying, but it sure gets people's attention when you're riding on the trail behind them from a distance. So I was thinking, well, this is this new Seed Zhao ESP32 S3, which is super tiny, as you can see. But it's also way overkill. Even though it's only $5 for this guy, it's way overkill for what's needed here because it's just full of features, and you're kind of throwing away money. So I thought to myself, well, I always heard that 555 timers were great for this kind of thing, just to pulse. You can pulse based on a time, so to say, using different resistances. Anyway, so that's where this project went. I took one of these, found, just Googled a quick circuit online for, a pulsing timer circuit, and here we have it. So I managed to find myself, I had to buy a few of these, a loud piezo that had the sound I was looking for, that could actually, cast the distance in front of my bike when I'm riding, because I tend to ride pretty fast as well. So it could cast that distance in front of me to get enough warning that I'm coming to hikers, so I don't startle them. So anyway, I hacked together that circuit. You can kind of see it there. It's a real hack job, but it works. I'm actually going to totally fill that. I've got a glue here called Goop that works really well. I'm going to seal it up with that. So anyway, that's the new bell. I'll let you demonstrate the sound here. I'll demonstrate the sound in a minute. And that's why I have this decibel meter running here to give you an idea of how loud this sucker is. This guy here will be zip tied to where my grip is again, so that'll be accessible right between the shifter and the brake lever. And then I 3D printed, I wanted a minimalist mounting unit. I have 35 millimeter bars, so this is going to go closer to the stem. And figured, well, there we go, just use a couple zip ties. And this here is actually going to seal inside here, so I'm going to mount this guy inside here and then seal it up with glue to secure it. So that'll just sit under the bars. And then the battery pack, when it's all sealed up, will just, it has a nice little silicone connect, whatever, like a lasso here that I can lasso it around my brake line, which is just in front of this area. So, and this will run between these two, these two guys here. So that'll be able to go up to the handlebars from there. Sorry, that's going to be upside down. There we go. So like this. So anyway, without further waiting, let's give you an idea of how loud this sucker is. I'm going to do this little short period because my family's sleeping. So I'm going to put it near the mic. So you can see here, I've been talking, and the sound is around 70 or so decibels. But here we go. That didn't seem to register quick enough. It's actually registering about 110. There we go. About 110 decibels. Pretty effective with that kind of sound in the middle of a forest. You know, I have had comments where people thought it was their own cell phones ringing, but at least they took note. Right, so it's all glued up, and the earlier demo of sound wasn't that loud because I was using another phone to actually show how many decibels it produced, but the actual camera was further away. So I want to give you a sense about what this thing's capable of doing. So hopefully this will come through well, but let's try it out. Sorry to blind or to make you go deaf there. Hopefully not. Anyway, that's what it sounds like. That's about, it measured about 110 decibels, but I can tell you with this facing forward, it sounds the same as the RB Bell I used to have, and people take notice, and it's good from quite a distance away to give them a heads up that you're coming. So I'm looking forward to getting this mounted on the bike. Right, so here we have the digital horn mounted. There's the push button. You can see the piezo mounted unit and controller in there, and then there's the battery pack. Just do a front view here to show that battery mounted, and then I'll just give it a little toot